Hey guys, today I wanted to talk to you about travel nursing and how we do this as a family. I talked about in another video how transitioning into travel nursing was really easy for my family because we were already homeschooling. So I guess if you have a family and you are considering homeschooling or you're considering travel nursing, I would encourage you to try out the homeschooling portion of travel nursing. I totally messed that up. I would encourage you to try out homeschooling maybe before embarking on travel nursing. It's not to say that you can't do both, because you can. I truly believe you can. I guess I'm just thinking on from an aspect of not trying to make too many changes all at one time. Obviously, if you have smaller children, it's probably less of an issue than it would be if you have older children. And two, it's really your children's personalities. If they're children that you don't think you're going to have a challenge with change, it's probably not that big of a deal. But because we homeschool, school didn't really change. I mean, school didn't change at all for the kids. They were already homeschooled. They knew what was expected of them. So it really, it wasn't a big deal. I guess one of the biggest changes with homeschooling was when we made the decision to travel as a family. My husband quit his job, and then he totally took over homeschooling. So that was a little bit of, not necessarily even a challenge. I guess it was a small challenge, but the kids had to get used to his style of teaching, and he is more strict than I was, which is actually a very good thing for the kids, because there was some things that I was pretty lax on. And two, it was always about, because I worked at the time too, so it was always about getting things finished so that I could do chores and things like that too. And I think a lot of times I didn't give it the undivided attention that I really should have given it. I mean, I know there's a lot of times that I didn't give it the undivided attention that I needed to give it. So it kind of really just depends on your situation. I know that there are people with full-time jobs who homeschool their children. I would say travel nursing on top of homeschooling would be a pretty big challenge. But again, I'm not saying that it's not doable, because I'm sure that there are people out there that do it. So us traveling with a family and how housing goes. Our first year of traveling, we stayed in the RV the whole time. And what that looked like for us is we drove from South Carolina to Arizona for the first assignment. And it was I would say that it was a good experience. We stayed at Leaf Bear Day in Buckeye, Arizona, and it was a great RV spot. The place was super clean. There were fun things to do. They have a heated pool, so like the kids were able to go swimming in January. The weather was absolutely amazing. They they had a really nice like game room, and they had a pool table, and they had a library where you could borrow books and leave books for people to borrow, and they had a TV in there, and they had Wi-Fi. So a lot of times we would go there to use Wi-Fi. So that was the first assignment. The second assignment, we were in Washington, and we stayed in a place called Sunnyside RV Park. It was completely different from Leaf Bear Day. It was a lot smaller, but it was probably my favorite, and that is probably because of the owners and the people staying there. It had a wonderful family feel to it. I felt like I could let the kids run around and play with the neighborhood kids, and that's really what they did. As soon as school, well, it was the summertime, so they weren't in school a lot of the time. They were able to just go outside and play with their friends, which was pretty amazing. Juliet more so than Jalen, because the kids there were a little bit younger. There was a pool there. Obviously, they had to have us with them when they got in the pool. And it was just a great place to stay. The owners were amazing. And it was nice and clean, and we felt safe. I can say that there's not been anywhere where I haven't felt safe. And then our last place, we stayed at Windmill Cove in California. I don't want to say anything negative because there were a lot of positives. It was right on the river. We had an amazing spot. If you were going to use the showers, it wasn't that great. The showers were not that great. The laundry area was not that great. And the water would actually stain your clothes. Those were some cons. But it was, like I said, our spot was beautiful. We could see the river from out of the RV. And I'm probably talking about this way too much, because if you're not staying in an RV, this is not going to apply to you. But I guess it just goes to say that there's going to be pros and cons with housing. Our second year, we've taken company housing, and what that's looked like for us is apartments. Florida, we were in Florida the beginning of 2018. Our apartment there was great. It was 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom. It was on the 3rd floor. That would probably be the con. Moving our stuff up and down 3 flights of stairs, and groceries up and down 3 flights of stairs, which probably very good for our fitness, but not so great for, just didn't feel like it, and it can be a pain in the butt. But apparently living on the 3rd floor is our lot in life, because here in West Virginia, we are on the 3rd floor again. The apartment's here a little bit older. It's a 2-bedroom, 1-bath. It kind of stinks sharing the bathroom with the kids. We got really spoiled in Florida, having the 2 bathrooms, and but we've acclimated to it. Still, taking the groceries up to the 3rd floor is not that fun, and moving the stuff up and down the steps is not that fun, but we get over it. So how that looks with bringing your family, I guess normally if you're taking company housing, they keep the whole stipend. They pay for the apartment, the utilities, and the furniture. Because we have a dog, we pay an extra fee when we move in for the dog, and then a monthly fee for the dog. I want to say the monthly fee is like $25. I think both here and Florida, I want to say the one-time deposit is like $400. So definitely bringing your pets is a little bit more expensive, and thankfully we just have 1 pet, so it's doable. And then paying for the extra bedroom also comes at a fee, and I cannot remember that fee off the top of my head. But again, it's doable, and it doesn't make that big of an impact. Just a word to the wise: if you're going to Florida, you're going to make a lot less money. I make a lot more money in West Virginia than I did in Florida. I've heard the saying that they pay in sunshine, so they feel like they don't have to pay you a lot of money. I guess it's one of those destination areas, and I guess they think West Virginia is not a destination area. But I don't know if you can see in the background the hills that I can see off my balcony. I mean, you're seeing a lot of the apartment behind me, and I apologize for that, but I really wanted to do some videos outside, so I'm outside. But so I just kind of wanted to share the different housing options. There's also, like when we're in the RV, you get the entire stipend. And so then you're paying like when we're in the RV, we're paying our own lot rent and electricity. There are some places that have electricity into the monthly fee, but most places do it. It's been my experience that most places do it separately. I guess because how much electricity people use varies. Let's see. I would say if you take the housing, just be prepared. The furniture is not that great. I mean, I just, sometimes your expectations, I know sometimes my expectations can get me into trouble. If you're not having really high expectations for having really fancy furniture, then you won't be disappointed. Um, you know, if you compare the housing, the RV and the apartment housing, pros and cons of each. And then there's the option of taking the stipend and finding your own housing, your own apartment, your own house, that kind of thing. I can't really say much about that because I have not done it myself. I have talked to travel nurses that have, and they've had good success. I have a feeling that it would be a little bit more difficult for us because we have a family and because we have a pet. I think that probably just complicates matters a little bit more. I don't think it makes it impossible, but people ask me about my family when they find out that I'm a travel nurse, and I know that there are people out there that travel without their family, but for us, that was not an option. Um, I I wouldn't want to leave my family for any length of time. I feel like the time that I have with my kids is very short, and it's getting shorter every day, so I wouldn't leave them unless I had to. And, we are one income family now. The travel pay that I get does make up for that second income. And I mean, I don't know if every relationship can handle the mom being the breadwinner and the dad staying at home. The way that we've always treated money in our marriage is what's his is mine and what's mine is mine. I'm just kidding. What is his is mine and what is mine is his. And we've always, our accounts have never been separate. They've always been together. And, even when I was working less and he was working more, we find a way to even things out, um, it's not like a contract agreement or anything, when he worked more, I did all of the laundry, and I did the majority of cleaning, but he always did the outside stuff. And now that I'm traveling, or I'm the one that's working outside of the house, he does a lot of the inside stuff. He does the laundry now and takes out the trash, and he actually does the meal planning. We go grocery shopping together. It just really works for us. So I guess that's part of the consideration too, is if you're traveling with a partner and your family, you have to be a relationship that can handle that. And we've done really well, but we've also talked about, I told him, because initially this was my idea, and the thing has always been, if we're not happy, if the kids aren't happy, if he's not happy, if I'm not happy, then we can always go home. We don't have to do this. This isn't something that we have to do forever. And so we went into it with that mindset. And, I said, as long as everybody's happy and it's working for everybody, we'll keep doing it. So it was not, it was always something that had an open end, and not something that had to be hard fast. If we had gotten out to Arizona and been miserable, we just would have come home after that assignment. But we've enjoyed it. I think I've enjoyed it. I think my husband and I probably enjoyed it more than the kids. I don't know if that's really true. I don't know if it's just going to take them maturity and age to appreciate what they've seen and what they've gotten to do. I was 36, 37 years old the first time I saw the Grand Canyon. My kids were, 9 and 12 or somewhere around there. I can't remember the exact date that we went and the exact age that they were, but it was around there. And, they've seen the Grand Canyon. They've seen the big trees, the sequoias, and in California, they've seen cacti in Arizona. They've seen Sedona and the Red Rocks. We've gone camping all over the place. They've seen Multnomah Falls in Oregon. They've seen San Francisco and San Diego. These are things that, I was in my late 30s seeing them for the very first time, and they've gotten the opportunity to see them. And not only have we seen them, but I've gotten paid along the way, and it's just a pretty awesome thing. And I honestly, I wish I had started earlier, but too, you have to be a place mentally to be able to do those things, and I guess I just wasn't there. But I feel the years with my kids slipping by, and I wish we had done it sooner, so that there are other things that we could have seen, and who knows what the future holds. But yeah, so that's kind of been my experience of traveling with a family. I would be happy to answer any questions. If you're thinking about embarking on traveling with your family. I just ask that you put your comments or your questions in the comment section, and please like and subscribe. I can't talk. Please like and subscribe. Y'all have a great day. Bye.